And I remember she said, I prefer you to bring your boyfriend home than you guys see in the street and do whatever. So I want to be there. But she didn't provide me, I think, at that time, enough information to know not what is good is what is wrong, but be able to make choices in my life, like for everything, even school, driving license, everything I did, and I learned everything by myself. But she's my best friend now, and I feel like the love and values really helped me to shift from childhood, girl to woman. I feel like she gave me great values. I think she could spend more time to explain me or to support me or whatever. I knew she loved me. I know she loved me. But I think like communication, like you say, knowledge, conversation is key. I did learn everything by myself. To be honest. I remember I asked the question about period. Like I was like, oh, but what is that? Can you still have sex? I didn't finish my question. She slapped me like so hard. I'm like, woo! So I knew her limits, and I'm like, okay, so now I know.
And was the partner that you had at the time, was he older than you? Was he around the same age? Because we have a lot, in my case, I learned a lot. I dated a lot of older men or guys. And I learned a lot from them, being that I was not able to, go to my family, being at the time, identifying as male and being sexually active and having sex with men. I could not go to anyone about that. So I went to my partners that I was, active with. So I know for me, there was like a little bit of a manipulation that came along with, being from my perspective. About learning about sex and about how to take care of my body and how to show up in the world. So I want to know from you all, how does that affect your journey to womanhood? From
it definitely affects. Growing up in the Dominican Republic, I grew up in a very innocent. I had a very innocent childhood. So I feel like it's a cultural thing. Like when you get your period in the Hispanic community, it's like a celebration.
It's like a rite of passage.
It's like a celebration.
Okay.
But yeah, a celebration that we don't know what we're celebrating. We're just like, oh, okay, I'm señorita. So what does that mean? I remember I got my period. I honestly thought that the day before I ate 12 lollipops. To be honest, this is a true story. I ate 12 lollipops, and in the morning I woke up. I was like, "Oh, that's probably the 12 lollipops I ate." I was like, literally, like I was 12 years old thinking this.
Super innocent.
Super innocent. And then my mom was like, "Oh, well, you're a señorita." And then she went to my dad and told my dad she's a señorita, and it was like a secret. And I'm like, well, okay, like she's a señorita. She's like, what? Do I need to know anything? And my dad, being so old school minded, he was like, just know you can't come to my house pregnant. I'm like, wait, what? I was like, wait, what does that mean? It's like,
so that entails,
means okay, so I'm a woman now. Okay, I can reproduce. Like, oh, okay, this is what it means. And it was just that. And then I had to, ask further questions to my mom and the rest.
So you would consider that being a way in which you were not supported in your childhood? Like how it's celebrated for boys to have sex and to conceive children, and they're the man, and they're in their manhood and they have all the respect. Do you feel like you were afforded that same opportunity?
Oh, absolutely not. Again, single mother, she gave, she showed me so much in terms of independence. I do know a lot about culture and multiculturality, for instance, but support between women outside.
Solidarity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sisterhood, the community, the power of community, the power of women. It's so powerful here in the US compared to Belgium, because I'm not going to talk about, the entire Europe. But yeah, it's very interesting and very powerful and very... I really felt and I feel empowered.
Empowered here.
Oh yes.
And what about you? Growing up, in the States, how do you feel?
I feel, so when I was younger, I definitely feel like a lot of times about womanhood, I had to go to my mother, right? And she mentioned sisterhood. And a lot of us, my girlfriends, we would probably have the same issues, but we would not talk about them, right? And so these were things that we were shy of, that we shouldn't have been.
Like it was a taboo.
Yeah, like it was a secret, when really we're all dealing with these same issues. And we just like are too scared, right? So that was my situation in childhood. Now that I'm an adult, I definitely find my sisterhood. I'm like, girl, something's wrong. You know, like I can go to my girlfriend and know that there's no judging, and know that we all are experiencing the same thing. Like, this is happening. Do you know what that is? Or, have you ever dealt, like, so what do you do? Like, I know now that I can go to my friend or my sister and talk about these issues, and may not even go to my mom anymore. You know what I mean? So like now I'm talking to my sisters and not so much my mom. So I found that kind of interesting, how like the roles kind of reversed. And that was just like a girlfriend thing, and it's just like I don't have to run to my mom for everything.
I can relate with her because growing up in the Dominican Republic, I lived in DR for 9 years, and I came back when I was 15 years old, knew very little English, and I didn't feel connected with the Hispanic community. I've always embraced my blackness. I've always embraced my blackness. I've always knew that to be black is to be dope. And in Dominican Republic, you don't see a lot of people embracing their Afro descent. And being in the Dominican Republic, you see other little girls, and they're like, they look European, they act a certain way. To me, coming back to the States was just like, I automatically felt a sisterhood love with my black sisters.
Because the Afro-Latinas.
We have to think about, what is Afro-Latina? Is it now just because I'm rocking my curly hair? Like, is that what we're doing?
Right.
Just taking pictures and saying I'm Afro-Latina because of my hair?
That's
or
true.
is it the root of it? Is it I'm embracing the fact that, I'm from the Dominican Republic, where Afro descent, Taino, you got the root, it's in our food, it's in our culture, the music itself, if you listen to merengue, bachata, all of that is drum, percussion. And from Africa. So I never felt, until this day, I always feel like, where do I fit in the Latina community? When people look at me, it's like, oh, like, is she black or is she white? Oh wait, she speaks proper Spanish, so she's Dominican, but she doesn't have a slang when she speaks. So to me, it's just like I don't feel like I have to showcase people or prove to people like
you comfortable
who I am. I'm just comfortable. I wish that we could all come together and just embrace our blackness. We're all the same. We're all the same. And from my experience, I just never felt, I feel like this comfort with my sisters. I feel like we do support each other. So that's why it's interesting to me to see like what you think about, because from what I hear, a lot of black women feel like there's no support, and I'm just like, no, I don't feel that. I feel so supported by my black sisters.
And probably it's to extreme extent, because you have like the women who are bailing out R. Kelly and putting money towards his bond, and having that be a form of sisterhood and solidarity. How do y'all feel about that?
So I definitely disagree with women trying to bail him out, because I'm like, there was a whole documentary, like somebody actually made this time to educate the world about this story, and the facts are clearly stated, clearly there. The women, all their stories like correlate, and yet someone is still disagreeing when it's like the evidence is like there, right in front of you. It's like, if it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. You know what I mean? So why are we like being negligent of the fact that this man has done these things, and we want to just accept it and we're letting everybody know, our black girls, that this is okay for you to go through this if this has happened, or all the men that's out there that's probably doing the same stuff, that if I wouldn't get any punishment for the same crime. We have to show people that even within our community, we have to stand tall. We can't just do these things when it's when attack is against us, like
Mhm.
as a black culture,
Right.
even we have to fix us within us,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
So I definitely don't agree with women bailing out. I think they're just prolonging the problem that we already have, saving our black men. We need to teach our black men, love our black men, really come down to the core, like what is